Hello and welcome. I am Simon Dan and I am very excited. It's happened. Someone has made a response to my response. I've been hoping for this since the start and boy has it worked out well. The YouTuber in question is M.Bens. Remember we responded to his Globe Questions video last week. Well, he's decided to attempt to make me look silly, and whilst I'll say that that's not hard to do, on this occasion he has failed. I'll explain myself all in good time, but first, here's the man himself.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is M.Bens back with another video for you here today. Today, I'm responding to some of these Globe believers out here.
He means me.
Now, typically I respond to a comment. I got my Globe believer comment section video series that I'm doing. But this guy made a video response to my videos. So, first of all, shout out to him for making a video response instead of just leaving some lazy comment, copy and pasting from science.com. Like a lot of these Globe believers do in my comment sections. Go to science.com, copy, paste it in the comment section of all my videos. So shout out to him for making a video, Sideman Dan. But we'll go ahead and talk about that video because it is funny. Makes me laugh. I'm not here I'm not trying to put anyone down. That's not my goal here, so put somebody down. But at the same time, it is hilarious.
Okay, it wasn't meant to be funny, but thanks, I think.
So, without further ado, let's just jump right into it. I'm gonna just go ahead and talk about this Globe believer Simon Dan's video. So let's jump right into it. So first of all, Simon Dan, good try. When I said photograph or curvature has never been photographed, you put a picture of, I guess, the ISS or whatever, and a picture of the curve of the Earth, of a camera above the Earth.
I'd just like to point out that the landmass you're referring to is not Florida, it's Italy. Not the best start for you there.
Well, I know you guys like to say, oh, all flat earthers say all those photos are fakes and composites and they're not real. That photo you showed was not real. It actually contradicts the footage you showed when D. Marvel said 24-hour live feed. You said, well, yeah, we've got that.
So you can see that flat earthers always say that a photo is fake, like you're going to be different, and then you say it is fake. Why ask for a photo then? This is something I never understand from flat earthers. They ask for a photo, then they say it's fake.
First of all, you can YouTube ISS 24-hour live feed, and it's not 24 hours at all. It's not. It's just re-loops of videos of videos of videos. If you don't believe me, you can YouTube it yourself. But it contradicts because in the video of the ISS you showed off, there was no stars, planets, other satellites in that video, but in the picture you showed, there was stars. So I'm confused. Are there stars or are there not stars? Like they contradict themselves, the pictures, or the picture to the video. So you can't use two contradictory reference points to try and debunk someone else.
Now, it's not very often that I pull one out of the bag, but I have 100% played a blinder here. The first picture I posted was indeed of the Earth, and I deliberately chose it because if you notice, it was on the nighttime side of the Earth, when the sun is not visible. The ISS feed I showed later was, as you can see, on the daytime side. The reason you can see stars on one and none on the other is the same reason you can see them during the night and not during the day here on the surface. The sun is too bright during the day. In the ISS feed, the sun is reflecting off the Earth, which itself is fairly bright, and this drowns out any other lights, especially faint stars. On the first picture I showed, that was when the sun was out of the way. It wasn't able to drown those stars out, and hence you could see them. I deliberately chose those two contrasting pictures in the hope you would mention it, and you bought it, hook, line and sinker. Now that's not a very good use of your common sense, is it?
But again, getting back to your video, there is no satellites or anything in orbit. It's just the ISS and it, travel along pretty smooth. I think it moves. I think it orbits the Earth at 17,000 miles per hour. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, it's supposed to be in real time. Because it's supposed to be a real 24-hour live feed. That does not look like it's moving 17,000 miles per hour. Now, I don't know, you guys tell me, you guys be the judge of that. But I don't know, I mean, maybe I'm just not, I don't have a biased eye towards NASA, so I can look at this stuff objectively, but come on, man, you got to come better than that. You definitely got to come better than that when it comes to that one, because you didn't really help out the cause there, man.
Okay. So the speed of the ISS is indeed approximately 17,000 miles per hour. The circumference of its orbit is approximately 25,000 miles. That means it takes roughly 90 minutes to orbit Earth once. The Earth is so big that, of course, in the footage from the ISS, it doesn't look like it's moving that fast. But if you're in any doubt of its speed, look up online when it will pass you next. Go outside and look up. It's quite a sight to see it pass. I'll be very interested to know what the flat Earth community think that is.
So now I'll get into my cloud question, which his response was, it's called rain.
They do. It's called rain. I can't believe this guy asked the question on Google and took the first answer as scientific fact. Okay, so clouds are made of immeasurably small water droplets that attach themselves to dust in the atmosphere. Their combined weight is massive, yes, but individually they are extremely light. If this guy knew anything about gravity, he would know that the force felt by an object is based on the mass of the Earth and that object. The minuscule water droplet is so small that the gravitational force it feels is indeed negligible.
Right? That's what happens when rain falls. And if that was the case, you just contradicted yourself. You're saying that gravity does have an effect on the clouds, which causes rain, but then you're saying gravity doesn't have an effect on the clouds because the water droplets aren't large enough and the mass is not taken into account, which means that the gravity does not pull it to the Earth. But you just said it was rain, so you just contradicted yourself. So learn your own model before you try to come debunk me, because again, it's not the scientific explanation for rain.
I'll give you this one. I should certainly have pointed out that when a water droplet becomes too heavy, that is when rain occurs. But that doesn't mean my initial explanation of why a cloud doesn't fall is wrong.
And as far as the water droplets being too small for gravity to have an effect on them, I've heard this and heard this and heard this and heard this, and I've Googled and I've searched and I've YouTubed and I went to Barnes and Nobles. I've done a little bit of research trying to figure this out. I have not seen any test, recreation, or experiment where water droplets were so small that they did not fall, that gravity did not have an effect on them. Now, if you have this video, show it to me, because I cannot find anything that's saying, oh, because water droplets are so small that's why clouds float. And so because the water droplets are so tiny and minuscule that they just float in the air and they don't fall. Doesn't make sense. I have not found any evidence to back this up.
So you've never taken a hot shower then? You know when the room steams up and the mirror gets all foggy? What do you think that is? Magic cleaning mist? This is a perfect example to show water droplets that are too light to feel the effects of gravity. For a self-proclaimed common sensor, you've had a bit of a mare so far, haven't you?
So until then, I'll ask the same question. Why don't clouds fall if they have a cumulative weight of 1.1 million pounds? I have not had a sufficient answer besides, oh, the water's too small, the water droplets are too small, so gravity does not have an effect on them. I can't find any evidence to back this up.
I've just given you some. Also, just because you don't agree with a reason, it doesn't mean that that reason is wrong, so I'll repeat my answer. They don't fall because the gravitational pull they feel is counteracted by the uplifting effect of the air in the cloud is in. When the droplets get too big and the air can't hold them up anymore, rain.
Furthermore, you went on and said, Mr. Simon Dan, you went on and said that gravity has to do with the relation of mass of the Earth and mass of the object that's getting pulled to the center of the mass, which is the Earth, which is the largest mass. So you went on and said that because the water droplets are too small, that the mass it's the effect of gravity is negligible because it doesn't have enough mass. And so I hear this all the time with people who believe in the heliocentric model. Heliocentric enthusiasts like yourself like to say mass plays a part in gravity and how things fall. Well, I'm going to play a video right now, put it up on the screen somewhere, the whole screen, where you could go do this test yourself. And if I had a bowling ball, but I don't, I should have went to my mom's house because she has a bowling ball. I did it myself, but you can look at this video and there's several other videos on YouTube, not even flat earthers, has nothing to do with flat earth at all, just people just recording themselves dropping feathers and bowling balls or feathers and hammers or whatever the case may be, and they fall the same. They hit the ground at relatively the same size, or relatively the same time, excuse me, not the same size, same time. So this guy took a hammer, took a feather, dropped them at the same time, and they hit the ground at relatively the same time. How do you explain that one? I'll wait.
2 hours later.
Because you can't explain that one. If mass plays a big part in gravity, pulling something down to the center of the mass, then the mass of the hammer, as we know, is a lot more than the mass of the feather. So they should not reach the ground at the same time under any circumstance besides a non-gravity vacuumed environment. They should not hit the ground at nowhere near the same time. If what you guys say about gravity is 100% true, but it's not.
Okay, I thought I'd let him have his moment on this one. Gee, this is actually quite awkward. Not sure how to approach this. Your main man, D Marble, made a video disputing gravity whereby he proceeded to drop a bowling ball and a feather. He did so because he knew they had different densities and that they would hit the floor at different times, which you can see from the video that they do. His point was that he believes gravity isn't the reason things fall and that he thinks it's density. Now the difference in falling time is actually because of air resistance. In terms of your bowling ball and feather are different masses thing, so they should fall completely differently altogether, the difference in mass between them when you compare it to the Earth is ridiculously small. It's like saying I'm closer in wealth to Bill Gates than you are because I have 56p more. We're both still considerably poorer than him. That difference in mass is again negligible. Now, if you want to talk about contradiction, it doesn't get much better than this. Two flat earthers saying two different things. Who am I supposed to believe? Well, D Marble is right about the bowling ball and feather, but not about the reason. It's easy for a bowling ball to be pulled to Earth because of its larger mass. It can move the air in the atmosphere out of the way with very little effort. A feather has a smaller mass and it still falls, but the force generated by air resistance goes some way to counteract the gravitational force, but not all the way, which is why it falls slower, like it's being held up a bit. A tiny speck of water feels gravity's influence, but the air resistance exerted on it is a greater force which keeps it up in the sky. Now, when you do this test in a vacuum, there's no force being generated by the air to stop them falling. No force counteracting gravity means everything is pulled to Earth at the rate of 9.8 meters per second squared. I hope all that made some sort of sense. Now, I've answered loads of questions, so I have one for you. You see, your question can work both ways. If gravity isn't real, and it is in fact density that causes things to fall, then why don't clouds fall out the sky? I can explain why they don't with gravity in mind, but water is denser than air, correct? So surely it should find its level, should it not? I'll be interested to hear your thoughts on that one. Anyway, I'm genuinely very happy to be able to have a civil debate with you guys about this. Despite you believing the Earth is flat, you seem like a great guy and I've got nothing against you personally. I'm very much looking forward to dueling with you again. Thanks as ever for watching. I've been Simon Dan. If you've enjoyed this, then please like and subscribe for more, and I shall see you next time. Bye bye.